It's all about that certain pizzazz, that certain way that you carry yourself, your charisma, I guess. No one wants to be friends with someone who looks like they have nothing to offer them, because everybody wants to gain something when they go out of their way to be all friendly with someone else. That something doesn't always have to be something extravagant. It doesn't always have to mean, gifts or good head. Most of the time it's just as simple as a good laugh or someone to do stupid shit with. If you can't bring anything to the table, you give nobody any reason to invite you to this or that, because you're missing the most important thing. You have got to make yourself useful. You have got to give people that reason. And I get that that may sound a lot just like good head, but most of the time it's a lot simpler than it seems. Because as humans, we are a very social species. And as a social species, we have this deep innate desire for good communication and, most importantly, validation. It's oftentimes just as easy as making someone else feel valued in of themselves to give you yourself that value. On top of that, you obviously have to be accepting of others, in that you're not expecting too much of them, you judgy pricks. And it always helps to be, at the very least, just that little bit funny. Lucky for you, if you're doing one, you're probably already subconsciously doing the other, because being chill and being funny really go hand in hand. In fact, I would say they're kind of just the exact same thing. Being the ability to make someone feel good and comfortable and willing to let down their guard around you. Without any of that, how is anyone ever going to enjoy your company? I feel like it's very important to emphasize the point that this is all about making friendships, like real, actual, good time, friendly friends. But a good time friendship isn't the only kind of relationship you can end up stuck in. There's a lot of people far more fascinated in those weird, narcissistic, competitive, obsessive, borderline sexually oppressed rivalry friendships in which the entire relationship is built on a foundation of resentment and a deep down unspoken desire to see the other person fail and or burn eternally in the pits of hell. If those weird, competitive, superiority complex, ego trip kind of friendships are more your thing, I recommend that you kind of just probably do the opposite of everything I'm saying, I guess. And to everybody else, make sure to stay as far away as possible from those kind of fellas as you possibly can. They are probably a lot more common than you think. People want first and foremost to feel comfortable with their friends. That only makes sense. So you have got to make sure that you are not wasting your own precious time with people you secretly despise or that secretly despise you. Remember that the whole point of a friendship in the first place is a gooder time. So being stuck in a weird, gay, superiority complex ego trip, it defeats the whole entire point of having a friend in the first place. The next thing you have to make sure of is that you are good at talking, in that people have a good time when they're talking to you. See, people like to feel smart, not necessarily in some weird, ego nerdy kind of way per se. Most people genuinely just enjoy thinking and coming to conclusions for themselves. And oftentimes people will be really grateful for you if you can help them in that process. And don't get me wrong, that does not, under any circumstance, mean lecturing someone on your point of view. Because no one ever enjoys a long-ass rant. Except for mine, of course. And let's be real, you're probably just as wrong as they are. What it really means is being able to bounce back ideas, being able to add to the flow of a conversation, and being able to say vaguely profound shit like, listen man, I think you know what you need to do. To be honest, I don't even really think that you think that you have a choice. Don't worry, it's not about the size of the boat. Hey bro, listen, the heart wants what the heart wants. Whenever someone asks. Keyword there being asked. Because if someone doesn't just ask for your opinion, what in the Lord's name makes you think that they want it? I mean, sure, if it just so happens to come out during the flow of the conversation, it's only natural. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's just part of who you are. But that right there, I guess, is why it's so important to never be too opinionated. You have to be able to keep a relatively open mind with other people, and always make sure to acknowledge the fact that you are probably a lot more wrong than you currently think you are. If all you're trying to do is prove how right you are to somebody else, I guarantee you that you will turn every single last relationship that you have into a shitty little superiority contest of bad times and detestation. Hey kiddo, I'm just dropping in because I made you these cookies. I know they're your favorite. Jesus, grandma. Don't even talk to me if you can't. Bench 225 for reps. What? Can you or can you not bench 225 for reps, grandma? Look at these, grandma. You can't do this shit, grandma. Give me those fucking cookies. Don't be that guy. It's right now that I think it's absolutely necessary that we mention the one absolutely vital secret that there is to making and maintaining good time friendships. Politics. Jesus, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Don't do them. At least don't be too into them, because there is absolutely no better surefire way to start completely unnecessary arguments and ruin perfectly good friendships than to be a capitalist or a commie. For some reason, friendships with these kind of people, yeah, they just don't work. No relatively normal person wants to be friends with someone who's, too into politics. Probably because these people are usually the most serious and the least chill. And if you are into politics, even just a little bit, you better make sure that you hide it well. Because even a subscription to Ben Shapiro on YouTube will have people thinking of you differently when they see it. Sure, people too into politics will inevitably find their clique, but it's always with people with the exact same mentality as them, and that's really all that matters in these weird little friendship bubbles. And that's really no fun. And because of this, people too into politics always start seeing people with different points of views as either complete monsters or just plain stupider, which always makes them act crazy or like a dick. And that's really not that great when it comes time to make friends. Chances are, if you're too into things like politics, you're already probably pretty weird and pretty useless. So you can't really give people much in return for taking the chance and rolling the dice on you. At the end of the day, people are looking out for themselves. If you can't give them anything, who can blame them? That's really all there is to making friends. But if you can't do that and all else fails, you could always just be the guy who supplies the weed.